All right, so there are basically four different stages of learning, and this is something I just came across recently that I always kind of knew of, but never really put into words and knew how to articulate until I came across this in a sales book that I'm currently reading right now. Will I give that book away? No, it's a gem. So, unconscious incompetence. This is the beginning, right? This is the beginning where you don't even know what you don't even know, and this is what kills people. This is what kills businesses, and this is what kills plans and actions and everything you have ever wanted, because you don't know what you don't know, and that's hard to realize and hard to face. And me personally, there are things and bottlenecks I'm currently facing that I am aware of, but it's about information and understanding that the information is going to unlock new things that will allow you to kind of prevent you from being stagnant or decaying, right? So there are things that I am aware of consciously, and there are things that I am unaware of. And so these are what truly kill businesses. So unconscious incompetence. This is something that you don't know. The way you're going to uncover these guys is simply just investing money into courses, watching YouTube videos, reading books, talking to people in the same space, because there are no shortcuts. And unless you have a roadmap and a blueprint to where you want to go, you're going to do things the hard way and the long way, and that is just pure ignorance unless you don't have the money. And if you don't have the money, work your job and then work your agency or whatever you're doing on the side. That's what I did. I bartended when I started my agency, and then once I started making a little bit of money, I kind of quit the bartending job and left the country. So that's what you have to do in order to get yourself to cruising altitude. So unconscious incompetence, this is the first stage. You are unaware of what it is you need to learn, and this is tough, and this is hard to get out of. Most people stay stuck here. Next stage is conscious incompetence. This is you are aware of a skill you have to develop, and you know you are not as good as you want to be, and that there is a long journey ahead of you, a long journey of pain and suffering in order to actually become brutally competent in this one skill. And so, for example, sales. Let's say for me personally, I am aware of how to do the skill. Or actually, let's skip that. Let's talk about something else. Let's talk about learning a language. Let's say I don't know how to speak Spanish. I'm unaware of the skill entirely until, maybe I have an experience that I traveled to a Spanish speaking country. I'm like, holy shit, maybe I should start speaking some Spanish. So we take this experience, let's say from my experience in Tulum from the past 2 months. I went to Tulum, never really thought of wanting to learn Spanish until this came across. And I was like, holy shit, maybe I should learn Spanish. And then I come to this stage, conscious incompetence. I'm completely unaware of my ability to speak Spanish, but I am aware that I need to learn it. So this is the pain of going through 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 plus hours a day and learning the actual language, doing courses online, studying it, studying verbs, learning different grammar, different word structures, sentence structures, etc., etc., etc. And then what we move is into the third stage, which is conscious competence. And this is going to come after several months and several dozens of hours, maybe a couple hundreds of hours of learning the skill. And once you have the skill to a point where you are conscious competence, this is conversational Spanish. I can speak Spanish, get my way around the Spanish speaking country, have not a problem, don't need a translator, don't need anyone, don't need Google Translate or anything like that, or anything like that to kind of allow me to perform better. I could do everything myself, and I am aware of it. And this does take a little bit of effort. It takes effort to think about some of the words, think about some of the verbs before I say them in a sentence, or think about how I'm going to ask this question. It takes a little bit of effort, but you are for the most part pretty conversational. It takes a little bit of effort, but you have it pretty firm. And this is another, honestly, I would say the two biggest places most people stay stuck is not even knowing what they don't even know. And then in addition to that, when they are competent at the skill, not getting any more data sets and information to improve on the skill. And that's why people stay the same. That's why companies stay the same. That's why, if you've taken sales calls at this point, sometimes people and companies and individuals stay the same just because they aren't having new data sets in their brain to allow them to change. And once you do get good at a skill, it is transferable and whatnot, right? But that's a topic for another day. So you have it at conscious competence. And then the fourth skill is once you have it at conscious competence and you repeat it so many times, the word or the saying, and you just study and study and study and study, it then goes into your unconscious competence. Waking up each morning, brushing your teeth, tying your shoes, those are examples of unconscious competence. You want to be able to develop the Spanish speaking language so that it is effortless, so that you are a native. And this takes years to develop. This takes years to develop. And so there's a reason why there are levels to this. And there are levels to this because people at the top of their game understands everything inside and out, backwards, upside down, forward, however you want, because they have been doing it for so long, and it's just boredom. They've done it for so long, they know all the information, they've went through trial and error with this first three steps, and they're at a point now where just regurgitating business info or speaking Spanish is just boring, and they want to move on to something else. And this is where you want to end up. And I will not lie, I would say this takes a couple years, right? A couple, at least 2 to 3 years, consistent speaking Spanish to actually gain this. And it's not easy, but these are the 4 stages of learning that you have to develop when learning any skill in whether it's agency or the real world or wherever it is. So I kind of hope this helps in helping you understand the stages of learning a new skill, and that it's not going to be easy. If it were easy, then everybody would have all the skills in the world and people would be making loads of money. But it's not. And this takes time. And so I kind of hope this helps.